Hey kids, it's Mr. Chiswick, and I have another story to read to you today. This story is a Pete the Cat story by James Dean. I think you're going to love it because it talks about one of my favorite subjects. It's about math, and it's about how sometimes kids just aren't sure that they like math. They think they don't, but then they realize that math isn't just about numbers, it's about stuff, and everybody likes stuff. So I hope you enjoy the story, and I will see you soon. Pete the Cat's Got Class by James Dean. It's math time, says Pete's teacher, Mr. G. Pete the Cat loves math. He loves how the numbers work together. If I add 3 red blocks and 4 yellow blocks together, how many blocks would we have in all? Says Mr. G. Pete raises his hand. 7 blocks, says Pete. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Very good, Pete, says Mr. G. Mr. G asks the class a subtraction question. If I take 2 blocks away from 7 blocks, how many blocks will I have left? Pete raises his hand. But the teacher calls on Tom. 9, says Tom. Pete feels bad for Tom. Tom is super smart. He can name all the dinosaurs. He just has trouble with math. Pete has an idea. He will help Tom become awesome at math. Helping is cool. On the bus ride home from school, Pete sits next to Tom. Do you want to come over and play? Tom asks. I got some cool new race cars for my birthday. Awesome, says Pete. We can do our math homework and then we can race cars. I hate math, says Tom. You don't hate math, Pete tells Tom. You just don't love it yet. Pete sets up some blocks. If I add 5 blocks and 3 orange blocks together, how many blocks will I have in all? This is boring, says Tom. Can't we play with my race cars? This gives Pete a great idea. Sure we can, he says. Pete lines up some race cars. If 5 red cars are going to the racetrack and 5 yellow cars are going to the car wash, how many cars are on the road? He asks. Easy, Tom says. 10 cars, just like a traffic jam. Now, what if 2 cars stayed home? Pete says. How many cars would be left? Tom says. Studying the lineup, 8 cars. Right, Pete says. See, I told you, math is awesome. Pete quizzes Tom on one math problem after the next. 4 cars minus 1? 3, says Tom. 8 cars plus 7, says Pete. 15, says Tom. I can't believe it. I'm doing math, and I'm loving it. Pete and Tom do their homework. Let me know if you need my help, says Pete. Thanks, said Tom, but I know what I'm doing now. The next day, Pete hands in his homework. Tom does too. After lunch, the teacher passes back their assignment. Pete and Tom each got 1 wrong. I'd like to see you after class, Mr. G says. You both know not to copy someone else's homework, said Mr. G. We didn't copy, said Pete. You both got the exact same answer wrong, Mr. G tells them. How can we prove that we got the answers on our own, says Tom. I know, Pete tells him. Bring your race cars to school tomorrow. Why? Asks Tom. You'll see, says Pete with a smile. The next day, Pete and Tom get to school early. What are all the race cars for? Asks Mr. G. To show you how Tom got to be so good at math, says Pete. Give Tom a math problem, Pete says. Any problem, any math problem. I'll get it right, said Tom, without Pete's help. Mr. G gives Tom one math problem after the other, and Tom uses the race cars to get all the answers right. Wow, says Mr. G, I am impressed. Pete helped me to make math fun, said Tom. I think that's something we can all learn from Pete, Mr. G says. Take it from Pete. Math is neat.